leeway saying I'm pretty sure we're ready to go. But we do indeed have the pistol round kicking off, and Endpoint, hopefully for their own sake, can find something in the early stages here of Overpass.
Here it goes. Might be Kirby finding something early on here. Going for aggression out along. I think his footsteps may have been heard because you can tell Fasher is going back to look for it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Kirby escapes with his life, but only just. And he's the only player here towards A. So that's going to force Surreal up the steps. And he's going to bring Nerds along with him because Kirby is between a rock and a hard place. There are a lot of players from FNATIC, and they want this kill. They do not want this to get away from them. Maybe a tiny bit of damage there from Kirby, but definitely not a great situation. Nico Doll's going to make it worse. Nerds has to stand strong, and he's already been gushed. It's looking catatonic. It's looking catastrophic here, and it's just on the Mighty Max. He's the lone survivor. Barely even damage done on the FNATIC. Nico is the only player who's even really threatened. This round is over. Mighty Max has the kit. He has the smoke. It might be worth saving just those because this is looking like an impossibility. Or is Mighty Max feeling a little ninja?
What a time. Oh, I thought he missed him.
Oh, if he just slipped through, what could have been? What could still be? My goodness here, Dean. What are the shots? Where is the bomb
kills
planted?
And such, the bomb's not actually for them.
This is just stick it, stick it, stick it. Well, no. It could have been.
Might have worked though, considering it was planted on the opposite side of the truck. The head put down a little bit. There's a very actual narrow area where they can spam with those Glocks rather than being the full body, of course, that's in view. It looks like they wanted to try and jump over for the knife, but he might have had a shot at getting the full 5 seconds. Either way, we won't know. At the very least, Mighty Max gets himself a few kills. It adds some money to his reserve. He's up to 2,900, but they're still just going to be taking a full eco here. No investment at all. They want to try and focus on getting that first gun round into the strongest position possible. And that should mean for FNATIC here that they're going to have a pretty clean round. They've gone pretty heavy on the rifles also, so that is their goal. They're trying to future-proof right now. Do like the bathroom stack. Taking a risk considering they don't have much to lose, really. May as well try something crazy.
Don't mind it at all, yeah. Nico does is clearing this the right way, though. He could still get deleted by these 3 pistols. So the whole idea is if his peek around gets checked, and, well, now he's realized they didn't quite have all the headshots they were hoping for. So now it's a question of whether they can get Nico Dawes' gun away from him. Survey says no. Survey says no. Decidedly no.
Always reminds me of Little Britain.
Not a show I've ever watched, although I do know of its existence.
You check it out at some point. Wouldn't be suitable to mention, really, many of the gags on air, I don't think.
Gotcha. Is it a sketch show, or is it like a...
Yeah, it's a sketch show.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
I haven't seen it in years myself either, but there's always the ones that you remember. Deep Molly. Second one actually put down. I was just thinking that they're not already throwing over, but yeah, they wanted one in towards the party, so anyone who did commit, or playground rather, would then have... It's going for the very late follow-up peak for the info there after the mollies were gone. Thankfully, he hadn't completely abandoned the rest of his team, rather, hadn't completely abandoned them, so there is still a bit of defense around this A bomb site, but for now, really all that Crucial can do is slightly slow down the potential advance and, well, not even really obtain any info in the meantime, rather, as we can see the push isn't going to come in towards A, but they don't really know this. They have no one pushed forward. They've been forced to rotate a second player up, and this has left
threatening. This is going to be an interesting wrap. No one will actually be able to contest it. Just Surreal does have a good bit of utility. Mighty Max actually as well. So for the retake, if they survive into it, it's actually not a bad position to be in. The big trouble's going to be Roy. All the way on the other side of the map, just now working his way down connector. Will be able to control rotations. I might sow Discord in here. Oh, he's heard something. He's heard something up top and it's drawn him through. And he's going to get the kill on Crucial as a result. Die to the next. Ooh, unless... a nice bit of play there does eventually lead him to dying, but it'll also lead Endpoint to saving. They are out. They've at least secured the escape route, but that's all they get out of this round. They are bailing. They're gone. And now Dean, I'm going to share something that doesn't really matter just yet, but is kind of weird.
Okay.
The 3 players on Endpoint haven't gotten a kill yet. Kirby just got his first. We're only 3 rounds in. It's not concerning yet. It just means Endpoint have really been blanked out of these last few rounds.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily weird, but yeah, as you said, definitely concerning. After how poorly the first map went as well, if the pistol round goes south as it did, and obviously you're not going for the force buy, then you can expect things to go like this, where a couple of players just might not be able to get an opportunity for frags in those early rounds, but it's about how you manage to turn it around afterwards, so hopefully they'll still find their footing here. Are they getting the full force in? Surreal even does have an M4 for himself, just about had enough to buy it. So they've got the full investment again, but obviously FNATIC currently leading 3-0, so anyway, a very similar approach to mid.
They go for the MAC-10 on Mezzy.
Oh, that nade.
Sticking it out on that.
Yeah, considering the money, maybe they're not expecting the full force buy around it.
Even if they are, they trust the aggression. Mezzy's already gained a forward position here over towards B. This is not bad. Yeah, Nick does hit a nade, but it's worthwhile. What's the position? Nerds. Oh, he's going to be tested by Roy. This could be huge. This engagement could set the tempo for the whole round. He's been spotted. Now it's a really tricky spot. He's got no one here to help him. There's the flashbang. I think Roy caught some of that, but he will still realize the kill. Nicely played from FNATIC. Really nice play from Roy to not leave himself exposed to that angle. It's a very easy one to overlook. But having seen nothing, doesn't even give enough of himself to really take that much damage. That's a nice opener. And Crucial's in a tough spot here.
Heavily committed, considering he's got 0 backup, and well, he might have taken the right time in there just to start falling back away. Still has the smoke there. I was going to say if he could hold on to that for just a little bit longer, it could have really ran the time down.
What's going on with the stickers on this gun? He's got Hunter with the G2 sticker. He's got an Entropic sticker. What's the other one?
Oh,
no.
no.
The theming here.
Panic.
Oh, goes through. Interesting idea there.
I think it was just a wall bang coming in, and it scared him.
I think he made an audio cue on the first one, which then gave him up. Because Faffer was certainly looking for it.
I mean, he was going through that smoke as the player in Guardian, I think, was wall banging to make sure he wasn't tucked in. Do you get me behind?
Mm-hmm.
So I think because of the shot starting at that point, he presumed they must have seen him walking into the smoke or something, but I don't think they had. So if not for the little shot that he gave off then in response, I think he might have gotten away with walking through the smoke. It's unfortunate, but it's how things play out. It's FNATIC who managed to take themselves a very convincing round, shutting it down before there's even really any hope of a fight being put up for Endpoint, as they're instantly just forced into a save. They'll have a few weapons. They'll have the ability to drop over the M4s with the loss bonus built up into this next one at full already by that point. So there is that positive, but 4-0, they're already down a map. Chances are starting to look slimmer and slimmer that they can turn this series around. Even the damage they traded.
They're just not killing anybody is the other thing. No one dropped in that round. 3 players still completely blanked. Nertz, perhaps most critically, being as he is an engine for this Endpoint side. The timeout's coming in here as Raging, the coach of Endpoint's presumably going to be, I don't know if he's quite raging in the mics yet, but definitely getting in their ears and saying we need to do something here to be a little bit more dynamic. They've been getting abused on these early picks, and then just from there, there's been nothing doing in terms of a way back into the round. Fasher has barely had to do anything yet. He's got 1 kill, no deaths. He's chilling.
He deserves it after the last game. What did he end that on, actually? I didn't have a look at the end. But he was like 18-5 or something at one point.
At the half, I think. Something
like that, yeah. And every single kill was just very crucial. He was always in the right place, coming away with double kills when he really should have been getting one and dones, being double peaked and such.
12, 180 R, 1.51 rating.
I think that was with him slowing down a tiny bit in the second half as well.
Yeah. Bonkers first half for sure.
Is he on the MAC-10 again? Seems to be by choice at this point.
Well, he's just keeping it. They're getting away with robbery here. Might as well keep it.
Oh,
keep the economy going fresh. Nerds. Good flashbang, but Mezzy's just like, come on. Commit to that peak. Commit to that angle. Commit to that fight. They know they've got Nerds isolated here. And if they can get a player top con, they can pressure him from every side. This is such a tough spot for Nerds. Even just to survive. They're going to come in to clear Mezzy, but that was the trap. They get the kill on Mezzy. Crims comes in to punish. Nerds was left a little bit there, and here we go. An advantage for Endpoint. A chance here. Crims is waiting for them to try and overface into the peak. But Nerds is clearing this, and he just needs one bullet. He just needs one bullet. Crims dancing with death. Buying time, buying a moment. The HE might finish him. But it goes a little too deep. So Crims somehow improbably survives.
Timing.
Ryan Nicolas, 40 seconds. They're coming on into it. Roy, if he finds his bank player. No, caught by KRB before he can activate. And with that, this should just mean that FNATIC and Crims on the other side, a deadly combination. Smoke in means that will be delayed, at least for a little while here. Instead, let's see what's working towards A. Fasher has full control of the connector. There's players out towards long and the signpost there. It's not so much of a signpost. It's like a tiny billboard. Sign. What would you call that kind of sign?
Which one was it?
The one by where Crucial's holding right now.
Oh,
Bulletin?
just the sign.
Yeah, I just call it sign too, but I'm thinking now, right? You have signposts, you have like billboards.
So it's not a billboard.
What would be the word for that kind of a sign? It's not quite big enough to be a billboard. Just a panel, I guess. Map.
Oh, yeah, I think it's like an
Doesn't really
information
matter, though.
tourist mappy
Either
thing.
way.
Nerds, good position. They actually don't expect a second player. Unfortunately, the bomb's not going to be planted for him, so he's only able to do a small bit of damage, and a Nasher catches him reloaded, and a Fasher put him out of it. Mixing them
Fasher
together.
kills Nerds, so it's
Yeah.
Nasher.
Yeah.
It's a bit
So
of
I'm
a
saying mixing
masher
them
in this
together.
round. Smasher that setup.
Our brains are breaking at this point, it seems like, Mike.
Oh yeah, and we're only one map deep, so that does not bode well for our mental resilience team.
It's another save as well from Endpoint. I don't think that'll be helping their mental resilience. There was a lot of those situations on Ancient where they were losing sights so convincingly that they weren't given the option to even consider going for the round. And it can be very frustrating because sure, you're saving over some weapons, and with the loss bonus, normally you can get the buy out. Still, to just not even have an opportunity of winning the round, not be able to give it your best go, it is certainly a awkward position. Mighty Max gets himself a kill there. I think they actually tried to hunt out of Connector in the last couple of seconds. Don't manage to take any more weapons away, and as I said, with the loss bonus, they should be fine to get their guns again. Might even upgrade off the MP9 there. I would probably like to see that.
Here's the timeout coming in, and this is something we also saw in Ancient, where they just burned a lot of timeouts very early on for Endpoint. And even if you are converting off of these timeouts, 1 round win per timeout is not an efficient conversion. You run out of the timeouts pretty quickly at that rate. So this can't just be about fixing this next round, right? This next round is critical. It's super important to figure out what they're doing, what they're buying, how they're deploying it. But whatever's imparted during this break in time is actually not going to be for this next round. It'll be for the following. And this is where we need to see the fortunes change for Endpoint. If FNATIC get up towards 9 rounds in this half, I just don't really see the path back in. And FNATIC are not that far off from it. One more proper gun round, since they didn't invest fully into this, and I'll be right on the doorstep with an absurd number. Heavy presence in Connector. And this is unfortunate because they've gone for the stack here. Nertz and Caribbean, heavy emphasis in. They might get caught. Fasher's looking for it. Caribbean, deleted, erased. Nertz, the next one on. Only one player's been spotted. So what's going to happen here? The pressure on is surreal. This actually works out. Oh my goodness. They fell into the trap. Don't even know if that was the design, but Endpoint certainly audibled quickly regardless, and they've got control of the bomb. Chance for recovery. Nico Dawes finds the first. Endpoint have to be careful. This is the best situation they've been in a long time, but it's Nico Dawes and it's Crims to contend with, 2 very deadly customers. And they're looking to check out. Oh, thought Surreal might get caught there. But he's far enough away. Instead, Crucial coming down on the flank. Pairing up with Surreal. They could find Nico Dawes. With his back exposed, he's got to go quickly. He's completely exposed. He has no idea this is coming. No expectation of it. Well, it does take 2 dig shots. Those dig shots are enough. For Crims, as much about winning the round, this is about economic damage. Because this is a lifeline for Endpoint to get back into this game.
Yeah, and it's taken, thankfully, with the 3 still standing. Surreal's not going to have an upgrade for that MP9, sadly. Not ideal, but looks like he's happy enough to carry that 1 weaker weapon over, and one more round might just do it to actually break through the economy. There's still a bit left there on a couple of the players. Actually, a few of them. Roy would probably still be able to scrape a bite together as well, especially if they got a bomb plant. So won't 100% be breaking that economy for FNATIC off the back of this round, but it would be a big start. It would be a third on the CT side, and who knows, maybe even still a chance of pulling things back into a 9-6 half if they can keep it going flawlessly. That will not be easy, of course. At least the hope would be there. FNATIC slowing things down a small bit again, slowed by the utility at the very least. The wallbang though from Mezzi, just as they start pushing into that short control. There was a second player who's just like, yeah, nah, screw that. I'm not going to stick around here.
Alright.
Dangerous fight against Fasher. He's been on point.
He has
Oh
the boost
my
up. Oh, unfortunate. Missed opportunity. The second player goes down as well. Now they don't even really need the care about connector. They can leave Nerds alone. And the bomb can go in. And once again, Endpoint's conversion rate of 1 timeout per 1 round win holds. Which raises some questions. Are they just calling 1 round in these timeouts? How involved is Ragin in the calling? Is that concerning for their overall setups? It's definitely not boding well, and, well, Crucial might be the only one to survive through this.
If even, I mean, he is going to get one more exit kill, which confirms his position, but the economy's okay enough for FNATIC to try and throw the numbers at this. They're not all that close, though, so that may be the main reason that they don't manage to take the weapon away, but I think Mezzi wants to give it a go. Crucial, though, he's going to be ready. Up close with the op, nice and personal. The shoulder walks right into the crosshair, and that's just not a shot he's going to miss. That should confirm it. No one's going to reach him in time. Oh, he nearly got wall banged down, though. Every time I say something, it's just like, yeah, no, that's... We're going to prove you wrong right now. 7-2. We said it just throughout this entire series. Endpoint have been eluded by the ability to chain together even 2 rounds, at least meaningful ones. I think early on the first map, they were able to get a gun round and maybe an anti-eco then afterwards as well. But other than that, it's been a single round immediately returned on FNATIC throughout both this map and Ancient, always having the money in the reserve for at least 1 or 2 buys, pretty much.
This one looked like it was almost going to be a faster play towards B based on the presence from FNATIC, but they'll wait. They'll sit. They'll see what the response is from Endpoint. This is such a critical round for Endpoint. So critical. They have some money to spare. It's not a complete disaster if they drop it, and the loss bonus is still built up. But that'd be 8 for FNATIC. That would be Endpoint in a really tough spot. Nico does. Is peering in to the site. A few mollies and nades thrown to see if they can rustle somebody into a crosshair. Nico does. Call him the rustler. And there it is! One surreal rustled on out. The spot on Kirby was there, but Nico Dawes didn't realize what he had till too late. Big recovery from Nico Dawes. And look at this flank. Starting to develop from Nerds. He's gone all the way through. He's checking in towards Party. I think he's just going to miss Roy. So maybe a bit of false comfort given over to his team, but there's a chance if he just keeps going, he could actually find the bomb. It's been left behind for FNATIC. Roy is going to have A, and they're not going to have control of the bomb. And Nerds is going to be in position to punish rotations if it comes through. Roy is coming right now. I'm A. They're thinking about rotating, but this is such a bad spot for Fasher. Uh-oh. He's been heard. Nerds. They have no idea. They're not even checking for this. He's playing it so patient. There's the kill. 2 players up connector. They have to deal with Nerds. They have to deal with him quickly.
It's done.
14 seconds. They got no time. Can they even make this on the run?
Maybe with the knife out? And afterwards, which would be worst case scenario really for Crims. But I don't think Endpoint are going to take the risk. They'd rather keep all of their own guns standing, even if they knew it was a chance to really do some damage to FNATIC. They've done that either way by coming through here with a round that really shouldn't have been theirs. I was a bit worried about that position because obviously the timing could have worked against them if they had brought the bomb back through connector instead. Maybe they would have bypassed them, but obviously it was perfect in the sense that the bomb goes back around through mid on its own, and when he dropped it, there was 16 seconds left. So unless the player took it with the knife out and ran straight to the bomb site, it just wasn't happening. And he goes forward again. Worked out in the previous round, I suppose. Why not? Looking for some early aggression to try and alleviate some pressure, and hopefully start chaining those rounds together, which, as we said, has been hard for them to do so. It's not going to spot anything, and while it's actually over towards Monster instead, where the spam through the smoke comes in to get Crims. It's a weird one.
Crim's just trying to get cheeky with it, I suppose. Not going to have it this time, and Nerds taking out the Opper, and Nikodos as well. Confirms the bomb. That will be allowed to be recovered by FNATIC, but what a great start for Endpoint. Most confident round we've seen from them so far. Nerds does have to be a bit wary without too much support. A player could be flanking him from bathroom, so we will go back to check that. But at least for now, this is going to be a tough round to recover for FNATIC, and we might finally see the cash broken. Because unless they get a bomb plant out of this one, I don't think they can invest in the next. So a chance for Endpoint to actually build something on the CT side. Pressure is going to come towards A. It's the only place they've got presence on the map. And as Endpoint sees their smokes clear, they're going to have this information. Nertz, though, doesn't wait for that information. He'll strike first. Really warming up in his game, considering he started 0-4, I think. 7 kills since then. And this round is looking spotless.
Yeah, pretty much perfectly done in this round, as you said. Rise just backing off. He'll have an AK at least to carry through, but other than that, I think we're looking at an eco here for FNATIC, so it should be Endpoint finding themselves a 5th round and potentially still having the opportunity to claw back into a lead at the half-time, which was looking damn near impossible even just 2 rounds ago. So maybe just some pistols around this op. I don't know if it's worth putting the full investment in. Money's already starting to build up for Endpoint, so even if they were to win it, it wouldn't completely destroy them. You can just have the op here alongside maybe a couple upgraded pistols that can get the job done to at least try and get a couple kills, and maybe a bomb plant, which would be pretty useful to try and ensure Roy can join them in buying.
Seems like FNATIC going to be conservative with the cashola. At least they're taking their sweet time thinking about it. Deegs up. Armor on the Nikodos with that AWP. Little some, but they're not spending beyond their means. There could be some limitations in the next. They'll be on 3rd round loss bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, they whiffed the Yertle the Turtle. Nikodos is going back to it. No, you can't do that. Can't do that. You gotta hit it on the first. Otherwise, the timing's missed and the opportunity is lost. So, Nikodos, time to get back to those KZ servers, perhaps. Roy! He's got all the util. He's got no util. Goodbye, Roy.
Pretty much as expected, though. Pistols only, apart from the single op, which shouldn't really be given too many opportunities, considering Endpoint know that they're up against it. Play things just in pairs, use their flash as well, and at most a casualty or 2 is what they can afford to lose. It's grouped around bathrooms for now. I think they were expecting maybe a flank to come through. It was B short aggression, I think, that came in instead from Endpoint. They've gotten the info that there's not really much going on around there, and haven't really bothered with the rotation yet, because Kirby and Crucial seem to have things unlocked, at least in the early moments of the round, and while they continue to do so, as well as those peaks come in, the op has been eliminated already as well, and the moment isn't going to be recovered. It's in shot by Mezzi, does give some hope.
There's a possibility, at least. Grim might catch this damage. Well, the Mighty Max pushes him back. Certainly wouldn't be a path to a bomb plant, but a dropped gun and a save here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Speaking of a dropped gun and a save, have an AWP, Mezzi. Is he gonna? He's gonna try this. He's gonna try this. 16 seconds, completely isolated. Crim's on the other side of the map. Crim's now dead. Weird information. They've got control of construction. They don't have any real information towards A. So how do they read this? Nikodos gets left alone. It's heavy concentration towards B. That bomb's rotating with 40 seconds. This kill's huge. Crucial dropping at the wrong time. He gets checked out. Nikodos doesn't have the info on Kirby yet. But now he does. Now he's got the spot. Now he's got the info, and this rotation is going to be a little bit too late. Crims will already be in position to support, and the next 2 might be joining him. 20 seconds. They are going to commit to this. This next spot will confirm, will bring all of the CTs here to defend. And if Nikolas just drops the planter, that could be it. That could be over. That shot's missed, but Crims did hit. And it's one player stuck in that icebox, and Mighty Max cannot escape.
Good work. Fasher joining in on the action again as well. As we said, on map 1, he was just ridiculous and certainly had a slower start here onto the map, but he's had his moments as well. Yeah, they just didn't have the time there in the end to get that one done. As soon as Nikolas got that first kill over towards long, spotted one other player on short and just tucked in, it was basically done because the rest of them were not ready to actually follow up with that push quite yet. 10-10, we're tied up. There's the first chance in quite a while for FNATIC to actually break endpoint potentially. Although, unfortunately, that situation does go both ways at this point. FNATIC themselves have not stabilized their economy.
It's what we call a swing round. Oh, Nerds! Oh,
How does he get
so
two of them?
good! 20 kills! Now confirmed. Nerds has taken both of the players, Roy and Messi. That was the setup last round as well, but this time, Nerds capitalizes. So huge for endpoint. Reminder, folks, he started out 0-4. Got 20 kills now. It's been so long since then, but he has been a machine. Nikolas close up. He's got the info. This should be a freebie. Kirby has no idea what he's just missed. And Nikolas... Oh, no!
When he got away?
Doesn't check it. Nikolas getting away there. That could have been really bad. It still could be. Nerds senses the space he's been given, and he'll not have it. Damage on a Nikolas, but... the numbers are evened up, and now with 2 players still on B, this hit's going to come through, and it's going to come into resistance.
Quite a bit of it, especially with that monster player up close. Had been flashed in for the monster peak, so I thought they at the very least would have been cautious of it, but as you can see, Fasher still catching one off guard, and now it's all on Mighty Max. He's got the initial pick up towards Heaven. That was actually the rotator that he took out of play immediately. Fortunately, couldn't deal with Fasher nor Crims, who had both just tucked in at that point and were forcing him to make the play happen. So traded back again. FNATIC, they do manage to recover despite the 3-on-5 that looked to be pretty much out of their control and should have been multiple times. He should have been caught falling back from the connector peak, but the timing, Nerds didn't want to take the risk considering they already had the advantage. And I mean, understandably so, but it would have been a free kill as we could see from our perspective. And then he gets taken down eventually from the follow-up peak, and it just spirals out of control, and now Endpoint have got to be a little bit worried at the very least. This one's an eco. It should be 12-10 for FNATIC. And although Endpoint have been controlling the gun rounds for as long as we can remember, really, at this point now, if the next gun round goes the way of FNATIC again, it could be out of their control before they even have a chance again to try and come back into this. So Endpoint cannot let that happen.
Interesting timing to take a timeout from the FNATIC side of things. I think something maybe seen in that last one that they want to straighten out before it becomes a bigger vulnerability. Maybe a change up in the way they're approaching connector this round. It's just the pistols, and it seems like they are going fast in towards B, risking the Molotov. No, they somehow avoided that Molotov entirely. Don't know what happened there, but it's going to be a little bit of a rude surprise for the FNATIC players in the meantime. Nert's got a kill, he got a rifle, and Nert says, I'm out of here. What's that loss bonus had, is it? They've lost 2 in a row, so actually the value of this M4 should be more than the loss bonus, right?
Yeah. Probably worthwhile. I mean, he has enough money that he could have bought anyway with an AK, but it might boost up their nades a little bit. You'll have to buy armor, would have full utility then behind it, but the only problem is there's a ton of time, so we're going to be sitting around for a while if he is looking to save this, and I don't think FNATIC will bother with a hunt either.
Minute and a half saves?
Every now and again, maybe.
Time for some non sequiturs. Dean, do you know what an Arnold Palmer is? You know
No.
Arnold Palmer's in. It's a concoction of half lemonade, half iced tea. It's delicious.
Okay.
And I've got one right next to me right now, and I'm enjoying it.
Apparently, he's a professional golfer as well.
He is also he's the one who made the drink and thus coined it.
Okay.
So that's why it's called an Arnold Palmer. There's also it's a whole licensing thing with a certain brand that I'm probably not supposed to say on this, so I won't.
I just don't like brands in general. I never know.
Yeah, but the drink in this one is delicious. I homemade some lemonade last night, which is disgustingly easy if you ever want to make your own. Nertz has decided he does not actually want to save. He wants one more kill.
I've never had iced tea before, though.
You've never... What? 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 Okay, with the amount of tea you drink, you've been complaining about how hot it's been in Ireland lately. Here's what you do. Okay? Make your normal tea. Get a glass full of ice.
I don't know about that.
Pour the tea into it.
Yeah, but we make our tea with milk and all, so it's
Well, skip the milk. You can make milk, ice milk tea.
Screw
Then you
that.
get into boba territory. But just skip the milk for once. Make your tea. Wait till it's fully brewed. And then just pour it over a glass of ice. Delightful concoction. Add
I
some
will
sugar
give it a
if you
go.
want it. But I would recommend skipping the sugar. Just go straight for iced tea.
I do like sugar in tea in general.
Oh, well, then
But here
add
we
some
go.
sugar.
We do need to focus back on the round for now, as we're getting into something that hopefully should be exciting again. As we had mentioned, there was a lot of time to waste there, so iced tea was a decent topic to waste it. As Kirby and Nerds both
Crimps,
looking for the
crimps,
connection
crimps,
control,
crimps.
and Nerds for the first time in a while struggles with getting it. The initial damage allows for Crimps to come in and find some, I would imagine, very sweet revenge.
Finally got it. Crims, we'll get more. It's the Berserker mode for Crims. He will finally be put down, but he's found his damage. 3 kills out of it. Crims is top of the board for his team. It's funny. It feels like he's been getting caught out in certain rounds, but still, he's just so good you can't deny him. You can't deny him his. And now Cruz is coming back into clear connector, but is he going to expect Roy to be so far into it? Might have an inkling since Roy's been playing this position a lot, and they're actually going to pinch in. Roy could be in a bad spot here. Oh, is Mighty Max going to come down the ladder without Crucial having cleared this? Oh, okay. What a shot, Mighty Max. He actually got dinked, but his AK is a little better for that one. Hell of a shot to hit while falling off the ladder. But that does at least give them a chance. Into this one, a chance that quickly slips away. 9 HP Mighty Max now in a 1v3. That's a tough ask of anybody. Apparently, Mighty Max only hits headshots, man. Yeah. If he hits one more,
Surely
I'm going
you
to say
can't get
check in
this.
PC.
Yeah, caught off guard. I mean, at that point, you're expecting probably both of the players to be tucked in, playing things a bit more passively, and that wasn't quite the case around the pillar there. But as we said, that initial damage allows for Crim's MP9 to really get the job done there in connector, and well, just nice timing to catch the third player creeping around the smoke and basically already solidify their hold on the round. Or things had basically even had a chance to begin for Endpoint rather.
You know our Swedish production staff is never going to miss a chance to play a Crim's replay there.
Oh yeah,
They're
we got
ready.
one of
Ready on the Crim's
Yeah,
highlights.
you have to. You need to represent the Swedes at this point, especially since you've got FNATIC and only one of them. It is nice to see a mixture of nationalities.
International teams have just taken over. We phase the obvious example. Ents, FNATIC, Roy dead. Don't know
Why
if
has that caught
qualifies
them off
for
guard? He's
national
been there
team.
like every round.
Problem is, Nurse is dead. So, the mammoth of a man gone quiet. And a boost up, late boost up, called by Mezzi. Perfect execution there. 2 kills in, no danger in the round. 14-10 is the scoreline. Despite some riskiness, despite some big scares after Endpoint made that run back in the first half, FNATIC looked to be in control once again, and the timeout's got to be critical here. Raging gets another chance to get in their ears before series point is secured by FNATIC. This might be the last chance saloon for Endpoint.
Yeah, well, it would be. I mean, if this goes south, sure, they have the loss bonus alongside a small bit of money to scrape out another buy, but still, it's kind of now or never. FNATIC have retaken control, and just putting a stop to them is not going to be an easy task now that they've woken up again. Crims has been a bit of a beast, as we mentioned. Rye has been a lot quieter in this game, though, as well. That's the thing, from map to map, it really does differ who's at the top of that scoreboard for FNATIC.
It's something you do like to see for them. I mean, it's just it is always nice that if you're having a quieter game or an off day or something like that, the wrist just isn't quite as warmed up for them flicks. Your teammates could just step up, immediately step in a position to do it. Roy, speaking of stepping up, has stepped on into the playground, and Kirby might be in a little bit of trouble as a result. Oh, Kirby's making some noise. Roy knows. This is engagement outside of B that could be so critical, and there's going to be a freebie for Roy. No chance for Kirby. Nothing doing. Now they know they're hemmed in. Now they know the positioning. They've got so much information. Connector and B, that's all they got to worry about. So the utility starts to come out here from FNATIC to make sure Endpoint can't get into it. And meanwhile, the UK org, which I can't actually say in this matchup because they all are, going to sweat. Endpoint. Sweating. Fasher. Oh, spotting. Didn't quite get the damage he was hoping for, but there's the flashback. Do it again. Do it again. Repeat. Rinse and repeat. I can get it this time. And indeed, he can connect for 2.
All hope slowly just slipping up. Mighty Max again, hoping to be the hero of the round. Had his moments earlier on when he pulled that triple kill off. Could do with the help of Nerds, who's been having a fantastic game as well. Fortunately, not quite ready to push off of each other yet. Instead, hoping those nades would force some players out of position. Mighty Max takes some damage on the jump across. He's still good for 1. He's not able to deal with Crims, and a gap in that smoke for Crims to emerge from there as he finishes off Nerds. It's 15-10 map. And series point at that as well for FNATIC as endpoint. It looks like this could be the endpoint for their season, unfortunately.
The endpoint for their season. Could be. It's been a battle back in Pro League in general. They've been trying to capitalize from the bottom of this group, but there is a chance here for it all to go away.
It's a young team, though, so I'm still excited by what we can get from them.
I'm excited by Nerds, man. This dude's insane. This dude is nuts. We've seen a lot of players come out of this endpoint roster, move on into other positions, and really bloom. And it feels like Nerds
even just from Israel.
Bloomed. I mean, yeah, the pipeline is pretty dramatic at this point. The explosion of Israeli talent into the scene is kind of wild to watch. You know, we've gone from basically no players, it being unheard of, to 2 or 3 in substantial positions within orgs, and a few more looking like they're on the move up. Wild.
Yeah, it really is a kind of a region of talent to keep an eye on in the future going forward for sure.
It makes me wonder what the next spot is, what the next region is where we just don't know, right?
Somewhere in Asia, there's just so many people, it's got to be eventually.
True.
When do we start getting the real Asian talent through? Just the unnatural gods just being produced on a daily basis through like a production factory. That's what we need. That's what they have in CIS, so get some tips from them. Either way, a very crucial round to try and keep some life in endpoint.
No kill.
Kirby, life left in him, but not a lot after that op shot lands on him, unfortunately. So that is not the start they were hoping for. Again on the lurk and not having any success.
Oh, they're all hemmed in here. At least there's not the flank this time, right? Kirby hasn't gone down, so there's still a possibility that someone's over towards A, but you can see FNATIC don't respect it a lot. We haven't seen a lot of A plays out from this endpoint side, certainly not in a long time. So it's Nikodas, and it is Roy over to that side of the map. Roy could be a quick rotator. There's the spot. Surreal with the kill. Mezzi forced back, but Crims holds on at Monster. The longer he stays alive here, the more of a nuisance he is, and Crims just so tough to kill. He never says die. Further damage. Look at the health. The health is gone. Slivers of it for Surreal, and now just Surreal, and he is over and done with. Mezzi puts them down. 3 kills for Mezzi to eliminate his old team, to send FNATIC into playoffs. They actually already had playoffs, but to give them a better spot within it, to take the 2-0, and to deny endpoint